What's your take on this work-life balance?
Well, I think that there is, at the moment, there's the rise of the individual, which is what we spoke about last week, where there's lots of sort of stylists that are thinking to go freelance just because they're looking to manage their time a bit better. It's not about working necessarily harder that the younger generation are all about. It's about working smarter. So I think a lot of them are seeing that opportunity and, you know, renting chairs from places like Hunter Collective and managing their diary, a bit like Harriet Stokes does now, where she actually has a bit more time for her family and has a bit more time and flexibility. You have to do the grafting first to get there, but I don't see a problem in becoming self-employed and managing your time, because you deserve that. If you can make it work for yourself, why not? That is where the industry is going. But what we have to appreciate is we're all different, and there are workaholics like me or George who do want to work 6 days a week and want to be surrounded by creativity. But there's other people who are hairdressers that don't want to give it their life, and that's okay too. So that's what the main topic was.
George,
what's your take on it?
I can't really comment on this because I'm a workaholic, and I'm probably, whatever I say is probably going to be quite unhealthy, because I say works.
Can't you see that there's room for both of us?
Yeah, no, my lot are self-employed, but everything I do is just all the work I do is my life. Do you know what I mean? So I can't really I don't know. I'm quite old school in what I say, and I just I think nah.
Here's something then, right? And this is really for you stylists. You know, are you right to be as passionate as your salon owner? Because you know we expect, you know, salon owners, we're so passionate, aren't we? You know, and should your stylist be as passionate as you about the business, Jordana?
I don't think any stylist would ever be as passionate as me about it. But, you know, when I look at... Let's look at area for a second. So, Jordana, you're in the centre of London, massive salon. I am in, you know, the centre of Rotherham. There is nothing around me. And to have created what we've created through social media and through hard work, I feel really special about this, but I don't expect any of my stylists to feel the same way as I do. But I would sit and agree that the way I feel about things is not necessarily healthy, because I work too hard.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
We don't want to promote the wrong type of culture, but yeah. I think it's great that, you know, there are rising stars in the industry like Harriet Stokes, who has now got a better work-life balance, and you can just see that. And, you know, so having a Saturday off, it should not be as taboo as it used to be, because people did not have the flexibility to work from home. Even before COVID, people had Fridays or Thursdays working from home, and I noticed my Saturdays were not as busy as some of my Fridays. So it should be something that we should talk about, like work-life balance. And yeah, we should give Saturdays off if we can or whatever, but we should find a way to work smarter, not necessarily always harder. Do you know what I mean?
You know, my team literally, and I'm very, very fortunate at this, my team literally go through my books, because I never ever book a day off. I never do. The last time I had a day off was the Lake District or whatever. My team literally go through my books, and they see when I've got an hour, and they block it out, and they see when I've got a day, and they go and book a spa day for me, because they know that I'm very, very unhealthy with the way that I work.
Yeah, I had a fantastic podcast. My very first podcast interview I'd done, and that was with Tom Connell. And Tom, and I used it a lot when I do talks at various events, and he talks about being obsessed. He openly admits that he is obsessed about everything he does about the hair industry. And so many of my guests that I interview all say the same. They are absolutely obsessed. So do you need that obsession? Do stylists need that obsession to really get to where they want to get? And by that, ladies, and you guys watching in, does that mean wealth? Does it mean the salons? Why are we obsessed? Are you obsessed, Jordana?
I'm obsessed, but the last year I have completely turned my entire work life around by eliminating one day of being on the floor. And so that one day is now my admin day, where I just catch up on absolutely everything. I talk to my team, I do all my meetings, and I just have that one day to look at my week ahead. And it has honestly changed the way I'm in the salon. I'm not miserable anymore. My team like me more. My clients have benefited. And yes, I have taken myself away from the salon for that one day, meaning I take less money. But I do think that in turn, that's actually made me a better stylist. It's given me a bit of time to catch up on some online education if I need to. And it just gives me a bit of breathing space. And so I do think it's maybe better at my job.
I'm going to throw it at you again, Jordan. I'm going to come to you on it as well, George. But should your staff be obsessed?
It depends where they want to be. If they want to do their work and go home and, you know, be obsessed with the dogs or the kids, then no. But if they want to get to a level where they're recognised in the industry and they're making noises and they're getting awards, then yes, for about 10 years you need to be obsessed.
How obsessed are you, George?
I'm very obsessed, but I don't expect my staff to be obsessed. Like, they're self-employed, you know. And, you know, I've done competitions. I did a status the other day, actually, I was actually on an art team with Tom Connell, and I did a model, and I didn't actually do the cut, and I didn't do the colour, but I did a wrap dry, because I've been at Colour World all weekend, and it just wasn't good enough, and... you know, Tom really ripped into me, but rightly so. And I think there needs to be like an old school form of hairdressing that is like, you know what, you ain't putting it to standard. You need to step up. You need to make your game better. But then again, we are also living in a world where actually, how many times can we say that? You know.
Okay. Well, let me bring in some comments, because there's some great comments coming in, and I'm going to ask you all. You know, are you obsessed with hair? All right. Yes, you are. No, you're not. So Lee, just going back there, probably a little while you will put these in. Hair is my life. 12 hours plus a day, 6 days a week, non-stop. That keeps your mind ticking, I guess. In Lee, Saffron, yes. Kim, my work life and. Still love it after 35 years, but I'm freelance and self-employed. See what I'm getting? Where are the stylists here? All right, I want stylists coming in on this a little bit, because I've got lots of salon owners. Becky, completely agree with George. Hair is my life. When I'm off work on a Monday, I'm excited to get back. How wicked's that? This is so good to hear. Cherie, I'm obsessed with work, but now at 42, I can see the desire to work smarter, not harder. I'm still just as passionate as ever. That's a good one to come back to. Lee, I wish. Lynn, I have the salon and work on the shop floor 3 days a week. I deliver apprenticeships 1 day a week and work for VTC doing EPAs. I love the variety of life I've chosen within the industry. This is so good, guys. You don't mind me keep picking these up, do you? I think it's just good to see your comments come in. I've just gone self-employed, and all I want is to build up. Love the job. And do
you know what? Can I just say something, Dom? Like, being a salon owner, like I have a kid that works on reception for me. His name's Caleb, and he's absolutely amazing. And like the other day, I said to him, like, me and him will book a day off on the 6th of like October, and we're going to go to a spa. But the actual amount of work I expect from that kid is so. I think hairdressing is such a tough industry, and I think the amount of work that actually a salon owner or a hairdresser demands from people is so much more than somebody working a 9 to 5.
Yeah,
I think it's a hard job.
Yeah, Rosalind, unfortunately I was more passionate than my boss, so I left and started working for myself. I think that's a great comment there, Jordana. Rosalind, there are many people that go to work a salon, they have real passion, but they've maybe got a burnt out salon owner, and you know, that's something you can experience. So it's really important, isn't it?
And I do think it's really important to note that just the people that are obsessed do not have a higher status than the people that aren't. That's just completely down to different personality. And obsession, again, comes from that addictive trait of like being like, yes, I want more and blah, blah, blah. That's not necessarily built into everyone, and that doesn't give you a higher status. It just means we need both to keep the world going round. And luckily we do. We have that, and we've got a good mix of that. And I think early on in my career, I realised, I was like, why is no one else like this? Like, why is no one else like absolutely obsessed? And I realised, actually, if everyone was like that, then there wouldn't be people that come in to do the 9 to 5 job or the 10 to 7s or the 11 to 8s and go home and not think about it, you know. And when I train our assistants, I always see the difference between someone who is obsessed and someone who's not. And I've now learned to appreciate that we need both. So
yeah, because you've got all kinds of roles, and if you have everybody super passionate, then that may create a negative sort of vibe in the salon.
Sometimes you need those days off to stay obsessed. I think
you can't have a room of superstars because you'll end up with nothing in your business. So you need cash cows, you need superstars, you need people that are just that happy, just ticking over. Like you need a mix of people to make everything work.
Yeah,
Carolina Saunders has said work-life balance is so important. Since I opened, I've given my team Christmas week off and bank holiday weekends, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, Diane, let me just pick in that as we've got Diane as well. I feel our time off is important to have family time. Hard to switch off from hard work and money aspect, but I feel there has to be a balance for my family as well. You cannot, family is always the most important of all of this, and I think that really comes down. Saffron, my team are as passionate as me. That's why I gave them the bank holiday weekend off. As Georgia Bell Hare says, your vibe attracts your tribe. I think that's so right, isn't it? And it's great. So, actually, I'd love to know, I think, what kind of audience we've got. Are you a salon owner, or are you a stylist, or are you self-employed? So, again, put that in the comment. I'd love to know. Eileen, how you doing, Eileen? Great to see you. I'm obsessed with the desire of achieving the hairdressing experience I dream of. What are we dreaming of then, Eileen? What is it that you're dreaming of? What were you dreaming of, George, when you started out in hairdressing?
No, I just really wanted to do really great hair, but then the more I've got involved, the more I realised what this is exactly the reason for the name change, the rebrand. Like, I think sometimes we just want to do really great hair and we don't realise what we're doing and how we're going about it, and then it takes a few years for us to kind of settle in and see what we're doing to then really realise the brand that we're trying to create. I don't think if I'd not gone to London, I don't feel like I'd have known what kind of brand I was trying to create. And I am trying to create a brand, and I have got a very clear vision of what I want to do now.
Yeah. What about you, Jordana? What was because you didn't naturally come straight into hairdressing, either you come from a powerhouse in the industry, but what's your goals and ambitions? What did you feel as a stylist?
I approached it from a bit of a different angle, because I came in when we had a store in Selfridges. So I was helping manage that, and there was about 60 of us, and we were working ourselves to the bone. It was a factory. And I very quickly saw that this wasn't the way of life that anyone could sustain. So one of my biggest dreams was how to work smarter and not harder, because we were putting the hours in, we were putting everything in, but we were still kind of getting the same results. So my main mission for the last 7 years has been about how to change and restructure the business to keep it into date with modern society, but also to allow for a bit of that flexibility and charge more and all those little things. So it was about creating an environment where it is a bit more like 5-star service, but in jeans, because it was too robotic. We were all wearing black, and we were all like standing like the way Selfridges robotics people stand, and it wasn't aligned. So mine was about actually creating more of a village salon, but a village salon where you work smarter.
Nice. And I'm just going to bring in some comments here. We'll just talk around this because I've got to bring them in because they're great to see. Hi, Ryan. I work 6 days a week, and on my only day off, Sunday, I'm constantly on Instagram watching live streams or doing online education. I'm employed as a full-time stylist. Great to hear that, Ryan. Well done, you. But David, great to hear. Be obsessed or be average. Hey, there you go. Perfect, David. Ross, what's Ross coming with? Let's just bring that one. Yes, my ex broke up with me 2 days before I opened my studio and told my work was a problem. He was actually jealous, and my work was his problem. That's interesting. Justin, hey Justin, good to see you here. I'm a level 3, so good. We've got some stylists now coming in. This is really good. I'm a level 3 trainee stylist and can't get enough of my job. And I know that, Justin, you're really passionate. I'm UK digital ambassador for Schwarzkopf and away to be educator for Scotland. So I'd bring that back up again for a huge extensions company. And I know you've done a great blog for us on how to cut it. Go and check that out. Charlotte, great kid is coming in. Hair is my life, but since lockdown, I can see having a bit more time to myself and my family has made my life better. It's almost going back to this whole kind of point that we're talking about at the start, this little bit of time out during lockdown. You don't mind? So what have we got here? Right, Paul, how you doing, Paul? Great to see you here. I would rather put my family first. That's fair comment.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. Like, I think that there's people that have been in the industry for a long time, and I think there's people that are hungry for things. And do you know what? I really don't think there's anything wrong with anyone saying that they'd rather put the family first, because this shit's hard. I think our job is harder than a lot of 9 to 5 jobs.
It is a hard job, isn't it? I think the reason we have to get engaged in this industry, I say it regularly, and I say it time and time again. It's a word. It's not passionate, it's getting engaged. And I got that from Alan Austin, who I'm such a fan of Alan Austin. I think he speaks so much great words, and he always says you've got to get engaged. And it happens to us all. There's times where you just feel burnout with the hair industry. You're just getting a little bit bored, and it happens.
We are so involved. Like, our job, we are so involved in everything that we do, whether it's the colour, the cut, the style, involved in people's lives. We are so involved, and do you know what? I don't blame people that turn around and say, I think about my family, because it's a demanding job.